Yo, what's happening everyone? It's your boy here, Abdurrahim, back again with another great amazing tech video. Well, the video of today, it's all about the Tecno Camon 12. If you don't know about that device, actually it's a brand new device from Techno, and I think they actually somehow nailed it on this kind of device with the Tecno Camon 12. Since the Camon 11, they learned a lot throughout that phone. Perhaps on the Camon 12 they have brought something epic. So for further info, let us just get started. First thing first, this phone is packed with 6.3 aspect body ratio of the screen display, and it has a 6GB of RAM and a 3500 mAh battery. I think for the battery side, they're a little bit went minimal. I think it's just that to my own kind of aspects, we all know Techno how much they nail throughout the battery, and I think it will be just a little bit minified throughout their iOS, which they call it, for the Android on top running operating system. So I think it's something which is so great. And another kind of stuff which I noticed on this phone, the camera, it's top notch. They give it more priority when it comes to camera, as we all know that from the front facing camera it has a 32 megapixel of camera. Now it surprised me into many different aspects, seeing that kind of 32 megapixel camera only on the selfie side, and I think they might be playing with the AI, as we all know that AI selfie or the portraits inside on the selfie side, not at the back of the camera. So I think it's much better than compared to other kind of camera which they were actually back then. The actual resolution, it's a really down Techno, like 720 by 1600 pixels. It's actually very down. The aspect right now, we are actually in up to 2K displays. We are up to that kind of 4K displays. We are going higher refreshment rate of the display, and still you guys are at 720 display resolution. I think it's so minimal, but I think for what they brought throughout Techno, it's quite amazing, because remember that their devices, they're always budget. They don't go that much higher end. They might be high end but a little bit budget, whereby consumers, they can just get on the device. So I think for the 720 and 1600 pixels, it's actually quite not bad. I give it just half go. It's a 64GB of storage and a 6GB of RAM. Well, we all love having a bigger storage rather than having a micro SD. Micro SD is actually still there available. It's not like a cloudy, though some of the people, they prefer more cloudy than a micro SD card. So I think to my own kind of aspect, for the storage side, it's actually 100% great, and I give it still a go. And the 6GB of RAM, it's actually not bad. It's quite decent, and I can't wait to put my hands on this kind of device. Camera. The camera is actually triple camera. At the back, it has a 16 megapixel of camera, 8 megapixel of camera, 2 megapixel of camera depth sensor, and it's even having a quad flashlight at the back. So I think it's really impressive for what Techno they actually brought to us. It's only about the camera upgrades. Like right now, so many companies, they come up with so much camera upgrades, because they know that camera, it plays big role whenever a consumer uses it in terms of its own kind of beneficial way, whereby he takes an amazing cinematic pictures or even videos and stuff like that. And I think right now we might say a little bit of DSLR and a little bit of mirrorless, because those are too much professional on the professional field. But when it comes to smartphones, we are giving a shout out to how the camera are handled in a different aspect, like minify the mini DSLR in terms of pocket. I think it's much better. Another kind of stuff is the MediaTek MT6762. I think to my own kind of aspect, I've been discussing about this, like MediaTek processors, they are actually, perhaps they right now it's a big change for them, but I think still MediaTek, it's not that much 100% decent. Sorry for the MediaTek users, but to be frankly with you guys, MediaTek processors, they're actually not that much top notch, because of many things which hinders the MediaTek processors. But to be frankly, still what we have is what we should supposed to be using it, and we're supposed to not give it downside. It's a big step for the P22 Helio for the MediaTek. So I think that's the best for the Techno, and I think, yeah, that's what it is. Something which is so great about this kind of device is on fingerprint display. To be faithful about this kind of fingerprint display, I think, to my own kind of aspect, the fingerprint display is the biggest change of game throughout Techno devices, and I think I always give it go for that kind of smoothly going with tech driven. And I think, to my own kind of aspect, for the on fingerprint display, still some of the devices, they don't respond quite well, that kind of first fluidity on display fingerprint. And I think for the Techno, perhaps they might be catching there. Let us just see when I just give my first handle of the device. As always, I told you guys, coming devices to our country as quickly as possible, it takes a little bit of time, and when I just put my hands on it, I'm gonna just do a full review out of it, and all of you gonna get excited. So I think this is the Tecno Camon 12 review, and these are my review on this kind of device. I know it's a little bit late of this video, but yeah, I thought that about catching up with the Techno, because that's the most great and amazing kind of phone out there, whereby they started from the bottom, now they're here. Started from the bottom, now they're here. So yeah, that's what it is. Thank you guys for watching. We love this video today. Make sure that you hit the thumbs up. You're new here, my name is Abdurrahim113. Make sure that you consider subscribing to Homeboy here. I really appreciate on that, and catch you guys on the next one. As always, stay sharp and creative, and peace.